So we have the Lions team out for the second test. I'm really happy with it. Only 2 changes to the starting 15 that I chose in my previous videos. Trying to keep these combinations together. Gatland's clearly giving guys a second go that maybe made a few errors. Sure, there's a few changes. We thought there'd be a few, but largely very similar team. Few changes on the bench, certainly some unlucky players. Let's have a look through it. Mako Vunipola, first story here. After his big performance off the bench last week and the fact that Wyn Jones isn't fit, he gets promoted to start. So that's huge for him. Well done. I mean, his reputation was certainly damaged after the World Cup final. He's, gone to repair that in that second half last week. And if he plays well in this game as well, he's probably fully repaired his reputation after that World Cup final. So really hopeful for him to have another good game. Southern dropping to the bench. Obviously, they're the only 2 fit loose heads anyway, so that kind of makes sense. Luke Cowan-Dickie will breathe a sigh of relief, a real vote of confidence for him. A lot of the line-out problems were probably coordination problems that involved others, not just him. So real faith in him as the best hooker, so he'll be loving that, wanting to really put in a big performance. And of course, rounding out the front row is Tyg Furlong, who is always going to be there. As were Atoje, Alan Wyn Jones and Laws on their performances last week. Clearly we're always going to start. Again, no specialist second row cover on the bench. Obviously Byrne could cover that or Laws could move up, so there was no need to put another second row on the bench. Another sigh of relief goes to Tom Curry, who did some good stuff and some poor stuff, but he gets retained. He'll want to play a lot better than last week, and I'm sure he will. The guy that really misses out here, though, is Hamish Watson. I did wonder if he'd be swapped into the team to start. I had Curry retaining his spot and Hamish Watson on the bench, but it looks like they're just looking to bulk up their team a little bit by popping Faletau on the bench, backing his experience. So tough on the mish, but he just wants to get Faletau involved, I think. Big game player. But good to see that Jack Conan does retain his number 8 slot because he fully deserved it, and it would have been a bit of a travesty if he'd lost that. So great for him, although it does look like Faletau is teed up to make an appearance from the bench at 8 at some point. A change that I probably wouldn't have done is Murray for Price, but it looks like they're bringing on the experience of Murray to try and close this series out. Maybe a hint at the change of style from the start of the game. Bit more of a kick chase style rather than the fast style they went for last time. Bigger has been picked. Looks like he's going to be clear of his HIA, but I don't think he started training yet. So a little risk, but they clearly want him to play. The change in the centres is Harris in at 13, Henshaw staying at 12. That's the way round I would have had it. So that's good to see again, just shoring up the team a little bit. Another hint to maybe they'll play a little bit tighter, maybe a little bit better in defence. Daly certainly slipped a few tackles, although Daly a little fortunate maybe to retain his spot in the 23, but he is very talented and flexible. So big vote of confidence for him. We'll see where he comes on, whether it's 13 or in the back 3. The back 3, talking of the back 3, retain as I would have had them. I think there were reasons to change maybe Hogg or Watson, but I would have retained all 3, and Gatland has indeed. They should be better for it, actually getting a bit of synergy in their positioning, a little less space in behind, for example. So they'll all want, all these guys who are given a second chance should play better and really will want to prove a point. On the bench, we see Owen, Sutherland and Sinclair. No surprise there. Byrne, no surprise. Faletau, like I mentioned, the change to the forwards there. Then Price drops to the bench. Farrell retains as 10 and 12 cover. And Daly, like I said, the flexible guy on the bench. A little bit surprised there. Williams unlucky because, Farrell covering the centres. And both centres could play 12 and 13. So a little surprise there, but they clearly want what Daly can bring maybe later on in the game, either linking the game from 13, linking the play from 13, or indeed his long-range kicking. So anyway, guys, let me know what you think of that team. Is this the right way to go? What would you have changed? Do you think the Lions are going to close this series out with another win? Anyway, I will catch you next time.